Prologue, Whispers in the Cold. It was 1947, in the aftermath of the Great Patriotic War. The Soviet Union, scarred but victorious, now turned its eyes towards something darker than any battlefield: the human mind. In a sealed military research facility hidden deep beneath frozen soil, 5 political prisoners were led into an underground chamber. Each man had been promised freedom if he survived a 30-day scientific trial. None of them suspected the experiment's true purpose. The scientists explained the rules. They would be kept awake for 30 days straight. A special gas would fill the chamber, preventing sleep. If they remained conscious for the full duration, they would be set free. The men laughed nervously. 30 days without sleep? It sounded absurd, but freedom made even impossible bargains tempting. The heavy steel doors locked. The hiss of the gas began. Phase 1, Days 1, 5 at first. Everything seemed ordinary. The prisoners spoke, joked, and argued. The chamber was lit by harsh white lights, cameras watching every movement. The scientists observed. Mild irritability, lapses in memory, but nothing unusual. The gas kept them awake, and the men walked in circles to pass the time. By the third night, their voices grew quieter. Shadows deepened beneath their eyes, but they still clung to sanity. On the 5th day, something shifted. The men began whispering into the corners of the room. They no longer laughed. They stopped speaking to one another, choosing instead to mutter phrases the microphones could barely capture. Words like shadows, watching, under the skin. Phase 2, Days 6-9. The men's behavior grew erratic. One laughed hysterically for hours. Another screamed until his voice broke. The scientists debated increasing the gas, but Moscow ordered patience. On the 7th night, something chilling happened. One of the prisoners stood in the center of the room and began reading a list of names, none belonging to the men inside. The names matched people long dead, soldiers fallen in the war. The gas hissed louder, but the chamber grew silent. Too silent. Phase 3, Day 10. Suddenly, one man collapsed, silent, motionless. The scientists panicked. Was he dead? But when a microphone was lowered, the man whispered, "I will not sleep. I will never sleep again." He had torn open his own skin with his nails, keeping himself awake with pain. The others followed. They refused food. They refused water. Instead, they mutilated themselves, digging into flesh as though driven by unseen hands. The chamber reeked of blood and rot, but the men smiled. They smiled because they had not slept. Phase 4, Day 14. By now, the chamber was painted with gore. One man tore strips of muscle from his legs. Another dug into his stomach, pulling out intestines and arranging them neatly on the floor. They did not scream. They did not beg. They simply whispered into the microphones. "We must remain awake. Do not take this from us." The scientists, horrified, demanded to end the experiment. But Moscow's orders came cold. Continue. Phase 5, Day 20. When the chamber was finally opened, soldiers gagged at the sight. 2 men were dead. The survivors were mangled but still alive, their bodies open, entrails exposed but somehow still functioning. Their eyes were wild, burning with something beyond madness. When the soldiers tried to remove them, the prisoners resisted with inhuman strength. One soldier had his throat torn out with bare hands. The gas was shut off. That was a mistake. The survivors screamed as the gas dispersed, thrashing violently. "We must not sleep." Phase 6, the final confrontation. The remaining subjects were restrained. Doctors tried surgery, but their wounds refused to close. Even sedatives had no effect. Their bodies fought unconsciousness with every ounce of will. Finally, one doctor asked a question no one else dared voice. "What are you?" One prisoner smiled through torn lips. "We are you. The darkness inside you. We are what lives when you close your eyes. We are the hunger to remain awake." Terrified, the general ordered them executed. But before the final bullet struck, one subject laughed and whispered, "So close to freedom. Why do you fear us? After all, we are always awake inside you." Gunfire ended their words. The chamber fell silent. Epilogue. The experiment was buried, sealed in classified files. But in Moscow's archives, whispers remained. And deep in the cold, under the soil of forgotten bunkers, the echoes of men who refused to sleep still linger. And when you lie in bed, eyes closed, praying for sleep. Perhaps they are whispering still.